Have you ever felt like there's something missing, maybe a missing chapter in your life story? Like you've lived through something important, but you can't quite place it? Maybe it shows up as deja vu, maybe a dream that feels more real than your waking hours, or an unshakable bond with someone you just met. Today on Mystical Minds, we're journeying into the world of soul regression, a practice that lets you unlock hidden memories of your soul's past and bring wisdom forward into the present. I'd like to welcome you to Mystical Minds, the podcast where magic meets modern life and the metaphysical isn't just possible, it's personal. I'm your host, Allie Thies. I'm a psychic, I'm an energy worker, and a soul connection specialist. Plus, I'm the former host of Ask Allie, the longest running spiritual podcast on Apple Podcasts with 19 incredible seasons. Over the years, I've written 8 books, including the Gypsy Magic series, Out of Body Ecstasy, Gypsy Girl's Guide to Goals, One Spicy Erotic Story, and a chapter in the best selling book, Sacred Self, where I shared my insights on creating a bedroom that truly invites love. I've been walking the mystical path since childhood, and now I help others reconnect with their true selves through my intuitive readings, soul work, and the safe, sacred space of the Mystical Minds community. This podcast is your invitation to explore the magical, metaphysical, and wildly mysterious side of life. From energy healing to spirit guides, soulmates to sacred rituals, nothing is off limits here. So grab your tea, light a candle, and let's dive into the mystery together. Let's not forget we are in August, and in August I have my past lives reading, a special just for Mystical Mind podcast listeners only. And this is 90 bucks, $90. And we talk about who were you in a past life? How many past lives have you had thus far? What were you in your past lives? And I find for this question, what comes up is what you need to know right now. Okay, so if you've lived thousands of past lives, I'm not going to go through thousands of things that you've done. Okay. What past life has the most direct bearing on your current life? And what karmic ties from the past need to be dealt with in your current life? If this is something you might be interested in, please send me an email to Alliethies, Allie, as in Tom, Heiss, like Sam, at yahoo.com. All right, moving forward, let's go for the card of the week, shall we? It doesn't matter if you're listening to this card of the week today, or maybe 5 years from now, or I don't know, maybe next week. Whenever you listen to this episode, this card is for you for this week. All right. And I'm also using this time around Sacred Traveler Oracle cards by Denise Lynn. And let's see what we have going for us this week. All right, let's take a look. It's been a wild ride. Hasn't 2025? I mean, holy crap. Every time you turn around, you think you've gotten through something, and then hey, something maybe very challenging is waving their hand over here. You forgot about me, and it shows up. Yeah, at least that's how my 2025 has gone. It's been a very challenging, lesson-filled, soul-growing year. All right. So the card of the week. We have faraway places. Get ready for new horizons. Oh, thank goodness. What this card means is that all of us can get ready for something new to happen, some sort of new horizon. Can this be another lesson on the horizon? Of course it can, because as humans, we're here to learn lesson after lesson after lesson. But it can also mean a lesson in the form of something new. And of course, the something new can also be a challenge. Even when we want something to happen and that thing happens, as humans, we don't like change. It doesn't matter how much we want it, how much we desire it. When it gets here, it's like, oh crap, now what? So be prepared for some change on the horizon. The powers that be, I always say, knows a hell of a lot more about us and our journey than we do. So if there is a course correct, if there's a shift, if something new shows up, if something else drops away, There's a reason for it, even though we might not be privy to it. All right. So again, it is faraway places. And the message this week is get ready for new horizons. All right. And it can be a trip. Okay. You can go on vacation or holiday or a nice weekend trip someplace. It could also mean that. But normally, it usually something else is coming in. All right. And I forgot to mention up with the announcements. I talked about the reading, but I forgot to talk about my new show that I'm starting on TikTok. I'm very nervous about it because I'm telling you, this is outside my comfort zone. This is one of those new things that the powers that be have directed me to. And it scares the crap out of me. I'm not gonna lie, because I do podcasts. I do this. I record it. There's nobody around. I can be in my pajamas, right? And then I upload it. But being live on TikTok, doing a show and interacting with people, kind of makes my introvert self just want to go hide someplace. So yeah, this is completely out of the norm for yours truly. It is starting next Friday, the 22nd at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. But I am doing another mic check on Wednesday at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. So I'd love it if you guys are there to help me still figure out the software. What this show is, in case you missed it last week, I want to have a show where we talk about love. I want a show where people tell me about the ones that maybe they're with right now, or the one that got away, or the one they never stood a chance with, or um, somebody you see from afar would love to get to know better. I want to know about those things. I want to send them a love note, and that's what the show is. Love notes in the passion zone. You send me the note, I read it out loud, I play a song. Either you tell me what song to play or I just play something. And yeah, and we get it out there into the ethers. And when you think about somebody, and this is somebody that you know and have had conversations with at some point in time, when you think about them, when you mention something about them, when I read the dedication, when I play the song, you pop in their head. They might not have thought of you in 30 years, but by God, when that song is played, you pop into their head for one reason or another. And it's like, huh, well, I haven't thought about them in a while. Where did that come from? It came from this. All right. So I would love it if you joined me for the mic check on Wednesday. And then when the show starts on Friday, would love for you to join me then. So I'm not just talking to myself. And I will include a link to the form that you can fill out in order to make a dedication. Okay, guys? All right. So let's move forward with today's stuff. Coming up next, I gotta scroll back up again. Coming back next is the mystical item of the week. And this week it's Obsidian mirror or a scrying tool. Okay. These are powerful tools for regression and divination. You can use for a meditative soul retrieval work, and this helps you to see past timelines. This will come up a little later on when I'm talking about soul regression, which is what we're going to go into right now. Because in August, the theme has been past lives and reincarnation. Because your soul has stories, and it's time to remember some of them. So, soul regression. What is it and how does it work? Okay. Soul regression is more than reminiscing or drifting through your imagination. It's a guided pathway into altered states of consciousness that allow you to access your soul's memory bank. Typically done through deep meditation, hypnosis, or guided visualization, regression gently bypasses the conscious mind and taps into the subconscious and superconscious layers where soul memory resides. When you enter this state, you're not just remembering, you're re experiencing. People often describe vivid imagery, sensations in their bodies, emotions that rise without warning, or even hearing dialogue from moments long past. These regressions can connect you to scenes from previous lifetimes, the space between incarnations, or the moment your soul chose certain lessons and contracts. Think of it like holding a spiritual library card. Every lifetime, every choice, every connection is cataloged. Regression is how you open the book and read the chapters that matter most to your growth right now. Doesn't that sound cool? I think it does. So, why would you do a regression? Well, why would we want to look backwards when so much of spiritual teaching tells us to stay present in the now? Because our past lives often hold keys to our current challenges. Here's why regression can be transformative. Transformative? What is that word? Transformative. There, you can bring up healing fears and phobias. Maybe a fear of water may trace back to a drowning in another life. Claustrophobia may link to being trapped or confined. Once remembered, the emotional charge often releases. Okay. Ending karmic loops. If you keep attracting the same kind of relationship or facing the same financial or health struggle, regression can help reveal the original seed experience and help you clear it. You can awaken dormant gifts. Many people rediscover artistic talents, healing skills, or spiritual practices they once mastered. These gifts often feel second nature because the soul has practiced them before. You can reunite with soul companions, lovers, friends, and even enemies may follow us through lifetimes. Recognizing them brings both comfort and insight. Regression isn't about dwelling in the past. It's about freeing yourself in the present by understanding where tools of your struggles or gifts come from. The clarity that emerges can shift how you live your current life. So, some tools for soul regression. You don't need to book a hypnotherapist right away to begin regression work. There are safe, gentle tools that can help you open the door. There are guided meditations, listening to a calm voice that walks you step by step into regression imagery. There's breath work and relaxation. Slowing the body relaxes the consciousness mind and primes the subconscious. Sacred objects. Mirrors, crystals, and reflective surfaces act as portals for intuitive visioning. And this is where our tool from the mystical item of the week comes in. The mirror, right? Obsidian is the stone of truth and works really well with deep shadow work. Polished into a mirror, it becomes a powerful divination tool. By gazing softly into its surface, you bypass the analytical mind and allow impressions, images, emotions, maybe even flashes of memory to rise. Think of it as a blank screen where your soul can project its stories. If you don't have obsidian, even a bowl of water or a standard mirror can become a regression tool. It's less about the object itself and more about your intention and willingness to enter the state of receptivity. So, some guided regression resources because I've been getting regressions for a long time, and I love it. I learn something new all the time. I meet new souls that I wouldn't have thought of meeting. It's been a really wonderful experience for me. And if you want to explore this from the safety of your home, which is where I usually do, a guided audio is a great entry point. And now to the most respected voices in this field and who I have used both. One is Dr. Brian Weiss. He is a psychiatrist and the author of Many Lives, Many Masters. Who what it is a wonderful book. Anything about that Dr. Brian Weiss writes or any of his audios, I highly recommend you get them if you are want to look more into past lives. Okay. He really pioneered mainstream awareness of past life regression. His MP3s, so they're wonderful. They're gentle, compassionate, and they're rooted in decades of clinical experience. And then we have the gentleman whose name I can never say right, Dick Sutphen, Sutphen, Dick. Stuphen, the PH is f, like an F. Stuphen. Huh. A master hypnosis who is known for his deep, immersive regressions. His recordings often include music and pacing designed to lead you effortlessly into past life recall. Again, I have used both so many times over the years. It's really my preferred way to do regressions. You can go to a past life regressionist, a hypnotherapist. I would go to a wonderful one down in Columbus. Her name's Cindy. When I want to do in-person ones, but most of the time I do them at home. I do the regression, and then when it's over, they bring you back out of it, and I immediately grab my journal that's sitting next to me, and I write down everything I can remember from that regression. And looking back over the years, there have been some some awesome um, moments of recall. So your soul work for the week, okay? Because your journey doesn't end when this episode does, right? So here are some practices to deepen this week. Get a memory journal, like I was just talking about. You can write about your past life regressions, maybe about a deja vu or a reoccurring dream that's always stuck with you. What do you feel your soul is trying to remind you of? And for this, I want to just going to say it hasn't been a reoccurring dream. I don't remember having it again. It was the one time I had it when I was a kid. I was maybe a preteen, and it's still there. Just this ending part. I had to get out of this world I was in. Okay. The world was collapsing around me. And in order to get out, I had to jump on this train that, of course, was pulling out of the station. And I'm running as fast as I can to get to this train. And like a spirit, it turns into a puff of smoke and disappears. And I remember stopping and going, just thinking, oh no, what do I do now? And then I started screaming at the top of my lungs and I woke myself up. Again, I might have been 9, 10 years old when I had this. This is over 40 years ago, and I still remember that ending. I'll never forget it ever. So, memory journal. You can also do regression prep, right? You can try one of the guided regression MP3s from the two gentlemen I just mentioned. You can journal like I do immediately after. Even if you only recall fragments or emotions, anything you can recall is gold. Okay, so write it down. You can also do a mirror meditation. You can sit with a reflective surface, like I mentioned, like the obsidian mirror. You can do it with a regular mirror, a bowl of water. You can gaze with a soft focus, which means you're not staring into the crystal, the mirror. You're letting your eyes like kind of close and you're kind of off focus. That's when things happen. You can always ask yourself, of course, when you're doing this type of meditation, what part of my soul is ready to return? And then, of course, grab that journal after you're done and write down your impressions. Now, if you felt any of those tingles of resonance during this episode, if you know you're being guided and you want to go deeper, it's time to surround yourself with some others walking the same path. Well, that's a wrap here on Mystical Minds. I hope it sparks something inside of you, a memory, a knowing, maybe a nudge from your soul. And don't forget your soul work for the week. You'll find it under resources for the episode. Under there as well, you will also find the Oracle deck that I used and a reminder about love notes, about the mic check on Wednesday and the show starting on Friday. And if you are craving more, too, guys, I still have the Mystical Mind Group. It's a safe, sacred space to explore everything from energy work to soul connections, intuition, spirit guides, and so much more. You'll find support, community, and, well, your people. And if you walk the metaphysical path and would love to share your wisdom on the podcast, I am still taking guests, although, again, I never got caught up in July. Never got caught up in July, haven't gotten caught up in August, but I'm still working on it, please. You can also book a private reading or soul session with me. Please don't forget about the past lives reading for this month, August only. You can do any of this at any time at outofbodyecstasy.com. I've got you whether you're seeking clarity, healing, or a deeper connection to your soul path. And guys, I want you to remember, stay grounded, Stay curious and remember, endless possibilities, infinite you.